Welcome into another
Welcome
podcast
in.
of Just Like Us.
Us.
I'm your host, Justin
Anyway.
Burtis, my lovely co-host, Lady Zito.
Zito.
Welcome in. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're at in the world. You could be anywhere, but you're here with us.
Right here.
That shows us you are serious about your life,
With
business,
us.
and love. So thank you for joining us. Today, we got some special people in the building.
Who do we have today,
Group.
Justin?
Today,
Who do we have?
We got Jordin and Deandra, and we want to bring them out in just a second. We want to know, have you guys ever had a couple's business that you wanted to see flourish? Have you ever been in business with your mate and wanted to go further? Well, today we're going to be talking about just that. And we got some firehouses in the building today. So get ready, strap on your seatbelt, and let's go. We got two amazing people here with us today. Without further ado, let's bring them out. Welcome in, Jordin and Deandra. What's up, y'all? Yo, first couple we've ever had on. Welcome in, you guys. Thank you for being here. Blessed to have you. It's always a pleasure. You guys are always laughing, having fun, enjoying yourself. So we couldn't have had it any other way. So happy to have you guys on here with us. So
thank you. We appreciate it.
No, we're honored.
We're very honored.
It's fantastic. You look
fantastic.
fantastic.
Look at them.
Yeah, let's go. So
the couple in black.
Let's say we met this past year in the Spectacular School of Business, and shout out to Spec and the family over there for introducing us to beautiful people such as yourselves. We met a lot of good people over there in Spectacular School of Business. So we have been in the school for over a year. We've all phased out, but the point of this whole entire meeting today is to say we got blessed to meet you guys in Spectacular School of Business, and here we are still growing. We're continuing to strive to do better for ourselves, and we've had the luxury of having you guys around. So just blessed to have you guys here. So let the people know, what are you guys doing? What's up? What are you guys up to nowadays?
I'll let you go. Go ahead.
He's gonna ladies first.
Let's go.
Right now, we have our business. Which
Before
is,
you start, can I just say, isn't she gorgeous? Everybody,
guys, check her out.
She's fantastic. She really is, and inside and out.
Right.
So I'm Jordin. This is my lovely wife, Deandra. I just want to make sure, I'm not Deandra. That's her.
And our beautiful host. You guys are looking beautiful today.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
Jordin's like, this is who I am, yo. Like,
I'm just chilling,
I'm just gonna let her do the talking. No. Right now we're working on. We have a business, and what we're trying to do is create a movement. Our movement is all about teaching people that the power that you have is within you, and that there's nothing you can't do. You're the hero of your story. There's never been anybody else that's the hero of your story but you. You're here for a purpose and a journey, and we're all here to ride along with you. We're creating that. That's what we're doing.
Same thing here. So we're similar because again, we are wanting more for ourselves. We see ourselves doing more than just being a 9-to-5er, slaving for the man, so to speak. And no offense to anybody who's out there working hard. Me, I'm trying to hardly work. I want to work for my damn self. I'm out here. I want to work for myself.
That's all we are about right now.
Time is precious, man. We ain't getting it back. So the time I'm spending working for somebody else, I don't want to work for hourly wages. I just don't. I want to work for the work that I'm able to provide to somebody, the service I'm able to give. So that service could be a $15,000 service that I'm able to give to somebody in an hour. I don't want to wait for 15,000 hours to get $1. I want to get $1,000 in a short period of time.
But I do want to shout out to all my blue collar workers, because we wouldn't be even able to have a business if we didn't have people that were working a 9-to-5 to buy any of our products that we don't quite have yet. But you guys do, right? So without those 9-to-5ers, we wouldn't have what we have. So I just want to give shout out to.
Thank you to you all, you guys. I highly believe that bartering would be a way better system. I'll make the shoes, you make the pants. I'll trade you for what I can do. You know what I'm saying? Because not only would it be more, we'll be more down to earth. People will be able to, because I think one of the things that's been taken away from all this technology and stuff is the interaction. Is the love that we have for each other. We're here like this. You see so many people. I mean, if you look around anywhere you go, you're gonna see 10 out of 10 people heads down to their phone, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's taken away a lot from our human interaction. We're supposed to be arguing. We're supposed to be loving. We're supposed to be, you know what I mean, having these goods and bad things. But I mean, this phone is taking away a lot of, you know, the things that we are our basic human emotions. You know, I mean, we're putting it all into this phone. And I'm not saying for everything or everyone. I'm just saying from what I'm experiencing and seeing, I think we need a bit more human love and compassion and things in the world, man. I feel like a lot of it's been not taken away, but we're giving our time to something or some things or as opposed to playing in the dirt. You know what I mean? Go out and seeing life for what it is. And I mean, don't get me wrong, we're evolving, but I think a lot of this stuff we're allowing to take over our basic essential human functions of like, you know, love and emotion and transparency and just being humans in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there's a lot more we could do as people. And if you make the pants, I'll make the shoes, you know, we can come together and it'll be, you know, but I mean, that's probably a long lost art of being human. You know what I'm saying? But the idea is there. The idea is there. Look, laughing is I think is a medicine to me. Laughing is, I think that heals my soul. You know, I mean, I wake up, I'm not waking up giggling, you know what I'm saying? But I like
man, if you is, something's wrong. You had a really good dream
every day. Ask lady, like I for real, I don't wake up like F this. I ain't in a bad mood. When I wake up, I'm glad my heart is pounding. Like there's sometimes where I wake up and I'm like, damn, God, thank you for letting this heart pound. I was thinking about it as I was taking a nap earlier. You guys know I said I'm gonna take a nap. I was like, I'm sitting there laying. I'm like, damn, I don't know what's making this heart pound, but I'm so glad that this mug's pumping.
Right?
I'm just happy to be here. I am. I'm just happy to be here.
For me, if I do wake up, not that I wake up in a bad mood, but it just takes me, you know, it just takes me a minute to like get going. I have to like, okay, reorient myself, right? And go like, all right, this is going to be a good day, right? You know, I need to like have a little bit of maybe some laying there for a moment. Sometimes I got to get up and have some coffee. And these two are just already like, hey,
I'm out. I'm like, I'm up. He's back. Okay, I'm going. We're good.
He's just boom, right up the top.
Right, yeah. So I have some questions for you guys, if you guys don't mind. First, let me just kind of bring in, you know, love, leadership, and life together. So building a family and a future as one. As we are, you guys again are our first couples guest. We're excited to have you guys here. So if you guys, have you ever wondered how some couples do it? You know, they all run a business, they raise kids, they stay in love, and they still show up for each other with grace, you know. And this Wednesday on Just Like Us, we're joined by Jordin and Deandra, a beautiful couple from Hawaii. We met through Spectacular School of Business, like I mentioned. And we're talking about parenting, purpose, partnership, and how to stay grounded through it all. So that being said, I want to see, so partnership with purpose, you know, building a business without losing each other. How do you guys continue to strive in the business world and still have your personal life involved as well? Can you guys, you know, kind of dig in on that a little bit? Tell us what you feel about that.
I don't know. You want to dig? I want to dig in that.
you want to dig? Get the shovel.
Okay. Okay, I was gonna let her go, but now I forgot what the question was. So
as a couple, you guys are still building a business, right? You guys are building a business. You guys are still doing your thing, your thug thizzle. But how do you guys stay grounded? How do you guys still manage to do the business and, you know, do the personal thing at home and still get along and function?
Well, for us, like in the beginning, like we were just going all in on everything, right? But then, if you notice that even with anybody else, is that when you're working, if you're going all in on it, she is too, you guys are doing it together. But then at some point, if your schedules, if like the amount of tasks and everything just builds up, you guys are going to start going like this away from each other. So what we do is we do a lot with when it gets to that certain point, we come back together and we do like a mind mapping. Okay. You know what I mean? We do like a massive brain dump. Yeah. And what we do is we have like these big poster boards or butcher paper. I got this really cool butcher paper, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, those are fun. If you're like
real low tech.
Yeah. I like writing it down. We like markers. So we put everything down on paper, and then that way it's not just we're unloading our mind, but we're doing it together. We're doing a task together.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that way I know what she's talking about. She knows what I'm talking about. We're going in the same way, the same direction.
Yeah,
so,
I love that.
Yeah, we're on the same page. So that's one thing that we do a lot. and working together, it also, it's one of the things that we've been striving for a long time. Like I was doing construction since 03, so since when we had our son. So I've been doing construction since then, and I've been out since like 2 years. So these past 2 years, I've been out of. The company I worked with, they downsized.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing in disguise, because of that, we're in Florida, so we're away from family, so we had to save up, and in doing that, we were able to. I've been staying home, but we've been doing business together. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's one
Okay.
thing that we've been going for like since I started work, because she worked, I worked, but we always work at different times.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Our rhythm
You guys are
was
missing
always
each other.
that.
You're
Yeah.
literally missing each other and missing each other, right?
Yeah.
Right. I can see how that works. I can see, because I mean, can you guys imagine? And real quick, shout out to the people in the comments. I'd be interrupt. Shout out to the people. I got my nephew Nathan in here, and we got Lake Tahoe ECS. This oh man, a wonderful man right here too. So shout out to the people in the chat. Thank you guys. He said work hard, and what's up? I'm in. But again, what you're talking about right now, Jordin, is you guys are able to miss each other in both ways. You know what I mean? You're missing each other's schedule, but you're also missing each other because you're not constantly around each other, and not constantly in a bad way, because there's people that can function and be around each other all day and be just fine. But there's other people that's like, man, I don't know how I can do around work and live.
a break. I'll be back.
Yeah, right. It's break time and you ain't coming. You know what I mean? So again, like Letty and I have a similar relationship of like, you know, when we were doing business, I at least I have my work to go to, right? I have work, and then I come home. So it's you know, you have that time to miss each other, because I think that's important too. You know what I mean? If you're constantly around somebody, there's a chance that you know what I mean, you get on their nerves, or they, you know, I mean, let's just be real. Like, you know, if you're constantly around anybody, after a while, you're like, damn man, okay, can you just leave my space? You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to get right. So it's easy to get so it's good to miss. It's good to miss somebody. So for you guys, I'm glad to see that you guys are doing your thing and able to, you know, be able to get that time apart, but still be able to function in business. So right here we got ESC Lake Tahoe. He says we like to get 4+ whiteboards and dry work. And he's great though. He's great.
We do that. We have a whiteboard.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Great.
We got whiteboards. We got poster boards.
Smarter.
Right, yeah. And so the whiteboards are good, because somebody like me, I forget my own name. I got my name tattooed on my back because I'll forget that motherfucker. I don't really have it tattooed on my back. But I do need the whiteboard. I'm telling you, we got a whiteboard, but we took it down. But the point is, I'm telling you, if I don't write it down, I'll forget it. You know what I mean? So it's good to have. Like we have 4+ whiteboards. And that's always good to have those, because I'm telling you, you ain't gonna remember everything. I don't care if you're an oxymoron or what they call the people who are idiot savant, or if you got the best memory in the world, you're gonna forget something. I'm saying, so it's always good. Dude. So and so with other so how do you guys? Okay, so we got that. How do you support each other's dreams without like losing sight of your shared vision? And like, how do you guys support one another in your guys' goals?
Okay, go ahead.
For the last 2 years, we have been around each other 24/7, 365, and it's been interesting. It's a roller coaster ride.
Big roller coaster ride.
I'm the roller coaster ride. I know. He's pretty steady.
Yeah, we're chilling. You know what I mean?
I'm the roller coaster ride. I'm the one whose emotions go up and they come back down, and the situation gets. It's my fears. It's my fears. I'm breaking through fears, and so we recognize that I'm breaking through fears. And I didn't grow up in a cream puff, so I'm sure a lot of people don't grow up in a cream puff. And so I was raised by both my parents right now are homeless, and I was raised by, my dad was a drug dealer, and my mom was a very faithful Christian, and so we learned a lot. We learned a lot from them. I love them to death. I appreciate them so much. The things that they've been through have helped us to form and grow and really take our life and really evaluate what we're going to do. And so I think a lot of times that's what we're doing. A lot of times is we're evaluating where are we and where are we trying to get to. And so if you can look at and create a vision, and you're both two different, very opposite people, but you're headed towards the same vision, you're going to get there.
Right.
And you're going to start to really enjoy each other's company because you're working together instead of working and going in two different directions with what we were doing.
We're not competing with each other.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is
And when you're on, you're really, really on. Like me and Lady.
I mean, if you have more than one person, if you have 2 or more people, you know, focusing and going towards the same thing, it actually tends to materialize into your life.
Okay, right.
It's happened like tons of times for us.
2 heads
That
better
is-
than one. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
totally
and
agree.
filling each other's gaps.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
absolutely. So like, here's an example of that. So with the podcast, so I'll be at work and Letty's able to stay home and she's able to get like all the functionality, like the stuff you guys are seeing. Letty set all this stuff up. Like I'll be at work, I come home and she got it all set up, and I love that. You know what I mean? I love that because it makes things so much simpler because I'm at work.
Yeah.
So and as I'm at work she's over here making the moves here, and I love that because that's what it's about, you guys. You know, that's the fluidness about the couples being in sync, so to speak. I mean, having it just feels right. It flows really, really well. You know what I mean? So
And it's very helpful, like especially for us. Like I do a lot with the tech things because I like computers. I like working on different things like that. And then she is really good with putting your thoughts onto paper. You know what I mean? Like I'll have all of these thoughts, but it stays there. I'm like, I'm trying to get things done. I'm like multitasking like crazy, and then it's not really multitasking. You're just keeping you're scattered. You're not really doing stuff. You know,
he almost said
That's what you need us for, so we can rein that in. Because let me tell you, I have notebooks and notebooks of just things that I've written down because I have to get it out. Otherwise, I'm like this.
Yeah,
then
so
he comes in and he's scattered, and then we just go off the rails.
You're broke,
right?
I'm broke. We can't have nothing.
And so that's where we both got to kind of go in our own little corners, gather ourselves. You know, we talked about it earlier, Dee, right? Just going into almost like that hermit mode, and it's helpful to me because then I can try to get a different perspective, see where he's coming from, where we're missing the mark with each other, right? And then try to come at it from a different angle, right? And continue to, try to, sync up again, right? Because sometimes we get out of sync, I think.
A lot of people, they don't understand, like, I did it too, is that it's communication. Communication with your partner is key. If you don't communicate with them, with your partner, with your wife, your girlfriend, your partner, or even with your family, if you don't communicate, then
how can you expect them to know? Right, and you can't expect them to know the stuff that you're thinking just by just thinking it, right? So, what Dee said earlier was, something that she learned from her parents is like, would you trade places with your parent? Probably not, right? A lot of times we say no. Some people would say yes. Some people have, but their parents are doing better than them, so that's always a plus. But in my case, like as far as like loving things like that, my mom was a fantastic, loving, beautiful soul. But as far as financially, I don't think I would want to trade places with my parents because like they lived a hard life too. We lived homeless. We did all these things that were really tough lessons to learn in life. But what lessons have you guys learned? Do you guys have children or not?
We have 4.
Yeah, 4. Okay, so what lessons have your children taught you guys about partnership? Have you learned anything from your kids? You know what I mean? Let's hear it.
We've learned a lot actually from them. That's why we started to homeschool. We started homeschooling 13 years ago, and then we started to unschool. We gradually moved into unschooling because homeschooling was just so structured. It was like you brought school home. I was like, no, this is not what we signed up for. We did not sign up to bring that system into our house. The whole point of it was so we could create this holistic experience where they understood life. And so we wanted them to understand that there are parts and there's pillars to life. There's your health, your wealth, you have your relationships and you have your expression of who you're supposed to be and who you're meant to be. And I wanted them to focus on that. Right. So we wanted that to be the focus for every single one of them. So that's what we were working on. And so we wanted them to be, so I actually would create curriculums for them before. And then I started letting them lead. And as soon as we started letting them lead, we learned so much more.
What?
We asked the best questions.
Oh, dude, crazy questions.
Like what? What would be some of these kids? I'm curious because this is awesome. I haven't heard of this yet. I haven't heard anybody do this.
I mean, they ask everything from things about stocks. They ask about investing. They ask about businesses. I mean, kids are they're geniuses, and all you got to do is get out of their way. You got to get out of their way, because I feel like the school system, I love the school system. It has its place,
Right.
and it has its place for certain people and situations, but it wasn't for us.
No, I mean, okay. We went to school how many years?
Right.
Do you actually remember what they taught you?
Yeah.
I remember the fun stuff. I remember the parties. You know what I mean? I remember the fun stuff, rapping in the hallways. I remember, you know what I'm saying?
Dancing.
I remember the fun stuff, but I don't really know. I don't utilize any of the math. I don't utilize any of the theology or any of the things that I learned in school. Like, let's be honest. Like, what do we utilize that we learned in high school?
Especially now, what do you do? Oh, I don't know this. ChatGPT.
Right. Straight up.
Yes.
You got a
That's
math
what
question.
you go to now.
Teach them how to use the tools.
Right.
Teach them how to use the tools.
Yeah.
Now,
they're
now
there
it's
for
all
a
about
reason.
tools.
I mean,
So many
I
of
did
them,
go to
like-
college.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No,
I did go to college though, however, and that did help structure some monetarily that I was.
Yeah.
But again, it was for robotics. So my whole goal was to get ahead of the curve for when right now how we have AI and then like things are like really more techie. That I wanted to get ahead of the curve back in 2020 when I was like, I knew this was coming. I mean, you had to be blind not to see that technology is taking over. So if I have a job that fixes robots, I'm gonna have a job, right? They're not gonna just kick me out because I need to fix the robots. So I went to school for robotics. I got me a robotics degree, facilities maintenance, like to fix stuff, right? So
It has a place.
Yes, but even that is like. It's dang near obsolete. You know what I mean? So I mean, I was able to really get into debt for $40,000, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna be paying that for the next 15 years. So that's really another hang up. Something that's like, but I've also made over $200,000 in the past 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Close to more than $250,000 in almost 3 years. So I can say that, but I've worked my butt off. I really have. I've worked a lot of hours. Sometimes I work 12 to 14 hours a day, 60-hour weeks. And who wants to go do that? If I'm going to do something, I want to trade my time for money that's be worth. I'm worth $2 million a year. That's where I'm literally at right now. Okay. And I may not have made that in a year, but I feel if I'm trading my time and I'm going to be gone away from my family and I'm not going to be there raising my son, if the state's going to be raising my son, like the school, you know what I mean? Let's just be real. The state is raising our kids. If we got both parents out and the kids are at school, the state of teachers raising our kids for those 6-7 hours. Let's be real. And I don't like that. I don't want to feel like my son is out there and not gaining from me what I think. I mean, don't get me wrong. The public schools are good for certain things, you know what I mean? For socializing and learning certain skills and the ABCs. But really, I don't need him coming home bringing sickness and all these other, you know what I mean? He's learning things at school that like we're not going to teach him these.
And the other thing too is they're learning from other kids too.
I
Right.
was gonna say,
And their bad behaviors and you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? So
And I'm not going to be negative, but you're right though.
Yeah, I mean, like for us, like I was saying, like for us, the school system wasn't for us. And when we had our 2 oldest kids go into school, before they went in, we could see the difference from when they went in, and then when we were about to take them out, it was a big difference on how they thought, their imagination, their personality. It was totally different. Our third child, he didn't even go to school.
Yeah.
Totally different from how they're because of the way that the school teaches you and structures your mind.
Right.
So,
right. And school's built for workers, right, guys? The school is literally built for people to work.
Yeah.
It's not built for people who want to use their mind.
Fine. Yeah.
It's like you go there and you're dumbed down. You know what I mean? Kids are so bright always, right, babe? Kids are already so bright. You know what I mean?
Because you don't want to make the other peers feel bad. You don't want them to feel bad, so you dumb yourself down so that everyone feels welcome. And so that happens a lot with kids. And I went to public school, I went to private school, and I was homeschooled. So I think they all work.
Wow.
It just depends on your situation and the way that your family dynamic is and your goals. So it just depends on that. So like what you said about college, like college has a place, but I didn't want to go to college and then be in debt. I wanted to figure out how in the world do we actually create things? How do we invest? Like we know that there's so many people that are rich that have dropped out of high school. I'm like, so it's not the schooling. So what is it? It has to be something else. There has to be something else. And I think it's that drive. You know what I mean? That passion, that fire that you have in you, that pushes you towards what you're trying to get to. I don't think it has anything to do with your education. Skills can be acquired. And so we're trying to teach our kids by learning in front of them that learning never ends, guys. It does not end.
Still learning.
Once you go ripe, you go rotten, right? Like if you think of a fruit, once it goes ripe, the only thing it has to do from there is to really get rotten. Like, I mean, you can eat it at its peak when it's ripe, and then it's just going to go bad. So if you think you know it all, you got something else coming. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And maybe some people think they know it all. Maybe they don't want to learn. Maybe they're not there to learn. But me personally, like, I'm going to learn till I die. I mean, straight up. So, and food is important. Would you guys agree that food is very important with what you put in your body? If you're eating Big Macs, if you're eating this food that's processed, there's a good chance that you might get sick sooner. Your brain's not going to be at its full functioning, processing the things it needs to be processing. And so I think having faith in either if it's yourself or whatever you believe in, having the food and flow, I think these are essentials, part of, the daily things that I think have been almost kind of taken away in a sense of us feeling like our government or people who are feeding us or allowing this food to have our back. I don't think they have our best interest at all. And for anybody who does, I mean, open your eyes, you guys. There's a lot of things about our food industry that's sickening. We're like the sickest country in the world. We literally are. We're the richest. You know what I mean? You
have to understand, like, everyone needs to understand that the government has to run, so it needs money. So it's a business too. And so they have to, it's marketing. They rely on marketing just like all the rest of us entrepreneurs. It's just, are you buying into it? Are you buying into all these things? Are you making the right choices for you? And so there's a lot of things that go on that, like there's a lot of bad things that go on. And so the fact that we're in America makes it really great though, because we get to make the choice for ourselves.
Right.
So we can either choose organic, or we can choose to eat these things. We can choose processed, or we can choose to create our own food. We can choose to eat pure foods that don't have labels on the back.
Right, or ingredients.
And so, so if that determines the kind of energy that you're putting out. Whatever you put in is what you're going to put out, right? So it's just like the algorithm. When you're feeding an algorithm, it's the same. It's the same with us. Yeah. What you feed your mind, what you feed your body, what you feed your soul is going to be expressed out of you. And so you have to be really mindful of what's happening, what you're taking in, and then what you're putting out into the world. Absolutely. And so that's one of the main reasons. I mean, there's tons of main reasons, but that's one of the ones. That's
one of them. Yeah.
That's why we wanted them around us, because we wanted to be the ones who were there for them, and that we could answer their questions, and that they're not asking a stranger, or they're not relying on someone else for information, and we don't know what they're feeding them. I want to know what I'm feeding them. I want to know what I'm feeding their bodies. I want to know what I'm feeding their mind and what they're going through. And I want to be there when they fall, and I want them to watch me fall. And I want this to be this is like a dance. You know what I mean? When you're parenting, there's never a balance. I don't know what that is. There's no balance. The scale's always tipping somewhere. But,
that's why I like to use the word alignment, right?
Yes, alignment.
When you say balance, to me that means it could go either way and I could fall, right?
Exactly.
I always like to use the word balance. And I know, like, for us, even with, I was married before I met Justin, and so I have 4 kids there, and then of course little Justin now. But that was one thing. I wanted them to be able to have self-expression. Right. And be able to, because they have the answers. They were born with them just like we were. And they're still in that state. Like you said it earlier, Dee, they're geniuses.
Yes, they're geniuses.
Some of the things
they just need to be told.
They teach us so much. It's like, wow, I didn't think of it that way, or I didn't see it that way.
Yeah. You gotta empower them.
Right. And versus kind of how I grew up was, don't be seen or heard. Just kind of don't do that. Don't behave that way. Or if you did it,
praises for obedience.
Yeah,
I would guys, obedience is a good thing.
So I felt like I conformed, right? I conformed.
Yeah, you conformed.
I was like seething. Like this don't feel to me. I'm doing it to like keep the peace. But inside, this storm was brewing.
Because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're doing it for the outside of you. I was doing the same thing, and I didn't want that for them. Yeah, I wanted them to be able to express themselves and to know, because I think parents are here. We're actually here to keep them alive, first of all, because a baby needs, they need care, they need love, and then they need to be nurtured, but they also need to fall. They need to learn how to fall at a very young age. They need to learn how to fall and fail. So that way, when you get older, you expect it. Like, it's okay to fall. That means I did something. I took a step.
Yeah. And that's what we also do too now, is that we fall while they're growing up and everything. Yeah, while they're watching, they're old enough. Right. We fall, we make mistakes. You know what I mean? We are still pursuing knowledge, and we're still working hard not working hard, but we're still learning. Yeah. Right, I don't want to work hard.
Moving forward.
Yeah. And it's good to let them see you fall. It's good to let them see you. You know what I mean? Get back up.
Exactly.
Get back up. I felt skidding.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, like, there's a lot of parents that are like, they go behind closed doors. They don't let their kids see the hardships that are going on. Yeah. If they don't see that happening, how do they know how to handle it? She tells me this all the time.
Open door policy.
Yeah, they gotta see. They gotta see you fall. They gotta see you go through all the hardships, all the pain, because what you're doing is you're teaching them, the new generation. If they don't see that, how do they know how to take care of that situation? Yeah.
Right. That's where perfectionism, I think, comes in, is if they don't see it. And I mean, it's how we grew up too, right? At home was at home. And when you're outside home, you need to be like this. Yep. And it wasn't unspoken. That was just the atmosphere, right? Yeah. That was the experience of the culture around us. Yeah. And today I love that you guys said that you allow yourself to fail too. You know, that they see that they see that there's conflict, that sometimes you're going to yell. It's not going to be pretty sometimes. It's just not. Right. No. But I think it's also important to go to your kid and say, man, you know, what I did there, how I said that wasn't okay. It has nothing to do with you. This was between your dad and I, or this was between her and me, and, you know, but involve them in the process so that they understand. Right. I think that even as parents, like, we get labeled, you're the mom, you're the dad. I'm a student too.
Yes.
Right? And I think, you know, like we talked about earlier too, Dee, you know, is that I think there were a lot of family members that put me on a pedestal, right? They thought I had it all together on the outside. I look great. But inside I was like, oh God, if you
falling apart.
If you only knew. And I can remember one time my older sister, she would come over every week and she would talk to me about her problems and talk to me about what was going on in her life. And then she's like, you know what? I just thought of something. She's like, I come here week after week and I bare my soul to you and you don't say anything to me. What's going on with you? And I was like, since you asked, you know, but that was what was modeled to me, right? Yeah. Even though I knew my parents weren't perfect, that was what we wanted to show the world, and that was a really hard facade. Like it you know, to me, there's a difference between like perfection and excellence. To do things with intention and excellence and purpose, right? I mean, it can be similar to perfect, but it's in a different, a different, you know, I'm not trying to pretend to be.
The intention is different.
Right.
So we don't want our kids to we don't want our kids to go through what we went through. But at the same time, like, can you imagine if our kids was able to go through like sometimes our kids are spoiled. I mean, it's a fine line, right? Like we don't want them to feel like they have to struggle like we did. But at the same time, like, damn, I'm humble because of the struggles that I went.
You gotta go. You gotta do it.
Yes, like, it made us who we are.
It's a fine line. I want them to go be homeless, because then maybe you'll appreciate the food that you do have and the things that you do have. So it's a fine line. So I myself am learning, and I'm a student as well as being a parent, because, you know, you want to instill these things in them, like, you know, you got it good. But how do they know if they don't really know? You know what I'm saying? If they've never really been there.
There's no proper comparison.
Letty said so one time, she said, you know, Justin has a need for nothing. And I'm like, that's good. But I was like, I got to thinking about it, like,
at the same time, he's not hungry.
Spoiled is like milk. When you say somebody's spoiled like that, you think of milk. You know what I mean? Like, you rotten egg. You know what I mean? You spoiled little milk you. So it's not a good thing, but we want to say the spoiled is good. I mean, it's not a bad thing either. We want our kids to have the better things in life, right? It's a fine line. We want to make sure that it's an even, not balanced, but what'd you say? Not balanced, you guys. Alignment. Okay.
Alignment. Yeah, because that's what we always want. You know, like from when they were little. They're born, they're precious. You don't want them to go through pain. You want them to have a better future than what you already had. I'm working 9 to 5 in the sun, busting my ass just so that I don't want you to do what I do.
Right.
I want you to go to college. Yeah. Not really, because it's expensive.
But I'm like, are we doing them a service by trying to, you know, like you said, it's so it's a dance.
It's a dance,
right? It really is. Like, when do you let them lead? When do you step out? You know?
Yeah. No, you're fine. Go ahead, dance away.
No, but I think it's important to allow them, you know, like Justin, some days he'll be like, I want to wear this, or I want, you know, Justin Jr. You know, and even, you know, my older kids, because they're all moved out and, you know, got babies of their own now. And, you know, we spent all this time, like you said, going to work and buying them, you know, all the things that we didn't have. And sometimes I wonder, was that a good idea? I mean, is that what we're supposed to be doing? Are we just supposed to be here to guide them and allow them to experience
and to find their way?
Find their way. Like, we're just their guide. We're their parents. Like,
they're watching us.
No, I think
you can guide them, you can give them advice, but
ultimately,
you want to let them make their decisions. But then also,
get lost.
You can steer them a little bit and then just let them go.
Yep.
And then if they get stuck, they get lost, they'll come back.
And again, the examples that we said, I think they're watching us, right? You guys are sponges. They're looking over, and we can see this by how they react, how they act, the things that they do, the things that they say. And so, like, what we're doing. So I might be setting the wrong example to my son in some people's eyes. If you're off the grid, you're like, what is it? People who are not doing the electrical stuff and like this is not a good thing. But for us who where we have these digital cards, we have debit cards, and my son's seeing us do this. So in my eyes, I'm like, okay, he's seen me be an entrepreneur. He's seen me building something from being an addict, from being, you know, he doesn't necessarily know what I was doing in the garage all the time, but I mean, he was aware of my absence. My daughter Brea, she's here now, so like, there was a huge gap where I wasn't there, involved in my kid's life, and now I'm like majorly involved. And even for a part of my son's life, I wasn't. But I'm just saying, they're seeing us, they're watching what we're doing, and they're implementing what we're doing, whether we like it or not. They're seeing what we're doing, they're mimicking us because they're around us, or the school, or whoever they're around. They're learning what they're learning from somebody. And hopefully they're learning the stuff from us, right, Jordin, right, Deandra? They're learning stuff from us as good parents, and we're teaching them the things that they need to fall and get back up. The main key is to get back up. What's up, Jordin? Go ahead.
No, I'll say they learn both the good and the bad. So it's not just, I'm going to teach them all the good things, but then I'm just going to turn my back on the bad things and they won't see it. No, they see you turn your back and see what the hell you're doing.
They're like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, right? They're like, they're worried. They're wondering, like, curious, right?
Yeah, they learn everything. Like, even if you have a temper, they see the temper and they might catch it. And then, you know, then what? You can't yell at them. Oh, why are you yelling? Why are you mad?
After you were yelling.
They put us in check. Like, I love that they do that. I love that he'll say, you know, he'll come and tell us, I'm trying to think of an example, but he'll come and say, like, well, you said, and I'll be like, oh, man, you know what? Yeah, you're right. And maybe it's
I was wrong.
I was
wrong.
They need to see that. They need to see that conflict resolution so they can have the confidence, right, to then step into, keep their purpose, to keep walking it. I think purpose, a lot of us, you know, talk about it and we think it's a one and done. We've, you know, lived our life doing all these things for this one thing. You know? and it's a series of purpose. I think every day you wake up, it's a new purpose. I don't think it's a one and done. That's just my, my take on it. And, you know, I think every day, you have a purpose. There's a purpose. Am I right or am I wrong? Even in doing the dishes, like I make that a very, very intentional time where I get to just slow down, feel the water on my hands, feel the soap in my hands, the dish,
present,
and a time for self-reflection. Like that's what I use that for, versus, you know, when I was, you know, back in my 20s and starting out, like, man, this really sucks. Why I got to wash the dish. Now we got to do
traveling through it.
Right. You know, like, I appreciate that. I look at it from a different perspective. Like I'm alive. I have the opportunity to get to do those dishes, to feel that water on my hand and the soap and the way the dish feels, you know, that's how, that's how I look at it. I think I think we're all just here to, you know, share the experience that we're having. I feel like we're divine beings having a very human experience. And it's, you know, I think for us, it's about remembering, right, our divinity.
About remembering.
Like you said, you know, you're your own hero. You were born with it.
You're the main character in your story.
Right. Right. And
the other thing with that is that, like how you just said, that you get to. Okay, everybody, I do it all the time. My wife catches me all the time. I say, I have to do this. I have to do this task. I have to wash the dishes. I have to do this. Right. Yeah. You get to. Because you're alive, you get to do this.
Yeah. You could be a paraplegic not having, and one thing I resort to on a daily basis is my functioning body. I have functioning, everything on me is working how it should. And then the other day I opened the door for a handicapped person. He was mad at me. His dude was not. It was like about a month ago. This dude was mad at me for opening the door, and I was almost man. You know what I mean? But I didn't. And I mean, I was like, because I had to really reflect on what he was upset about. He was man, I got the door. You know what I mean? He was who knows what was going on. But I take stuff like that personally. Like, man, I'm opening the door for you. What you mad about, bro? You should be happy I'm opening the door for you. But he was upset, and I had to really process it. It took a second, but it made me realize, like, this man, you could be proud and be like, you know, I don't need you to help me just because you think that I'm handicapped, bro. I don't need you to open the door for me, man. No, don't look at me like I'm something less. And so it really sunk into me. I'm like, it made me even more appreciative of the things that I may take for granted, like being able to have my toes scrunch up in my shoes, or being able to have my eyes look left and not have one dangling over here. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm lucky to have half the hairs on my head.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're lucky to have a head.
You got more than me. You know what I'm saying?
It's an attitude of gratitude. It's just like being thankful for the things that we have and not the things that we don't have, right? So, and to me, it's Letty might call me Positive Paul, but I'm positive as much as I can be. For me, it works. I like being happy. I like being excited. I like having a good time. Some people thrive on the negativity. And you guys know damn well there's people out there that thrive on some negative ass stuff. There's people out there that just love to be negative. That just love to put things down. We need those people in a sense. We need those people because sometimes I look at them like, damn, I definitely don't want to be like that. Thank you for letting me say what I don't want. You know what I mean? And you got these murderers, you got these people like, I don't have to kill somebody to know it's not for me. But I'm just saying, like, there's people out there that are like, damn, I don't want to be like that. You know what I mean? So the negative, it coincides with the positive. I feel like it's necessary. It's a dance. You know what I mean? We need the negative because you wouldn't have to start with like
without negative.
Exactly.
If anybody feels that they're all positive. No.
I was going to say, if we got everything we needed, I mean, we wouldn't have.
We wouldn't have the same game to play.
Like,
that's why we're here. We're here divine, and we're gonna leave here divine, and on the way we're gonna figure it out.
Absolutely.
I think that you can have heaven on this earth now, right? I live hell. By choice, right? But I think that, you know, there is heaven on this earth here today and now, right? Because it's within.
How long have you guys been married?
23 years.
Damn, you ain't even 23 yet. You guys ain't even. You look like you're 28. How you guys been
We've been together longer than that.
Yeah, we've been together for 26.
High school sweetheart.
Wow, 26 years.
You guys been married 23 years?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, I'm not even gonna ask how old you are because I mean, you gotta at least be 23. You gotta at least be 23 years old.
Our son is 22.
Our son is 22.
Yeah.
Look, you guys, you look really good for your age. If you don't mind me saying, because I'm just saying, like, some people get old and they age. You know what I mean? I get older, I feel like I'm getting younger. I mean,
you gotta hang out with kids.
Oh boy,
that's right.
That is what it is.
I am a kid. What you talking about? Hey,
big shout out to brother Des up there, man. What's up?
We love you, Des.
yeah, right. Hey, let's go. Desmond's in the building. That's our brother Desmond's in the house. Desmond, you remember Jordin Deandra? What's up? Yeah, he remember. Let's go. Yeah, there's some familiar faces up. And we've been having fun. And again, we're talking about being a couple, being a power couple at that, and still staying through the thick and thin and being able to push through and make some moves. Me and Letty, we've been really pushing forward and making progress. You know why? Because we're showing up, not for ourselves, but for our family as well, for people around us. Because let's be honest, you guys, there's people that are waiting for us to show up. There's people that are like, there's people that just in the past year have told me, man, I knew you was going to make it. I've been knowing since you was a kid that you was going to make it. And it gives me chills because I'm like,
yes.
Me too. And since I last seen you guys, Jordan, let me just say, I've quit vaping. I've quit, I think I've quit drugs before I met you guys, but alcohol and caffeine. So I've stopped all these major things in my life that like they've really put. I feel 10 times better now. I'm already energetic. I'm already a bright person. I already got all these good things about me, and I feel even better now.
Now you got that out of the way.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold up. Now you can express yourself.
No. Hold on.
All right, Jordan,
did you just say that you cut off caffeine?
I know. I was like, what's wrong with you?
Listen, I'll tell you.
Which one? Is it energy drinks or coffee?
All of them. Anything with caffeine, coffee? Like I'm the dude that reads the labels like it got caffeine. Nope. And I won't drink anything with caffeine. And I now know when something has caffeine. And I had a root beer the other day had caffeine. I was like, damn, I feel hella wired. Why? And I found out Barks root beer has caffeine now. I found out the hard way. I won't drink it. But I'm saying for me,
I'll drink it for you.
Water.
I love my caffeine.
These are milestones, you guys, because what it's showing me is that not only am I being consistent with what I want, but the things that I need, and I need for me to be at my best right now because I want to do better. And by me showing up for myself, if I'm able to quit these things, imagine what I'm able to start. You know, if I can quit these things that I've been holding on to. So Desmond says, Letty Zito, tell them how Justin Bird also cleaned the garage to see what happened. So listen. Desmond he told me that he said, listen, I need you to start cleaning the mess up in your house.
Oh, Jesus.
And so we did. What you guys see back here, Desmond is like really, he's come through in many ways that he doesn't even understand. Like, he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? But Desmond has been here. We've been close with Desmond for all the right reasons. You know what I mean? Desmond got a huge heart. He's somebody that we confide in so many things, and he gets a lot from us as well. It's really a give. You know what I mean? Relationship. Because Desmond's badass. Let's just be real. Desmond's badass, man. He got a lot of great qualities about him. Not just about money, but he's just a great person in general. He gives back. He's not somebody who takes the information and guards it. He gives back. So you know, and it's good to have people like him around us. You guys know Desmond. You guys know Desmond personally. Great guy, you know what I'm saying? Great guy. You know, especially when he's sleeping. That man will tell you what. Kidding, Dad. Love you. So,
I was going to ask, what is it? What do you guys at Indelible Impressions? What are some of the products that you have available to us?
Right now. So right now, what we've created is we've created artware. And so we have one line. We have one line out right now, and we're developing the next line, and then they're gonna keep coming out. We're gonna roll them out slowly, but basically, it's just whatever has been on our hearts, and so right now it's our line is remade in gold because we want people to know that all those cracks and all the things that have happened to you, they happen for a reason. So you could we combined the kintsugi, so that people understand that you can be repaired with gold, with divine gold. And so that's what the message we want to put out there is that divine gold, you can come with all your cracks, you can come with all your scars, and you know what, you're even more beautiful now because of the things you've been through.
Agreed.
Everything that you've been through, that has made you who you are. You should be proud of your scars. Those are made in gold. That's what our line is about right now. It's about
23 years, right? 23 years you've been married, right? Yeah. And I mean, like you guys really seem extremely happy. You guys have just like that glow about you. I mean, it's almost like it seems like you guys are on a date in a sense. You know, I mean, you guys are laughing, you're having fun. You guys, anytime we see you guys, you're in a great mood.
There's the glow. Got the glow back. There you go. Glow back.
Let's go. You turn the light on. Letty lights up. Letty's usually the one that's lit up, and it just seems like she has a lot more glow about her. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know.
Letty has an aura, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Letty's always glowing, so it
That's
must be a female thing. You know what I mean? The inner growth.
We are the carriers.
You know?
I'm just
True that. So this has been quite this session today, having you guys on here. And again, we would love to be able to promote whatever you guys are doing. And I'm glad Lady was able to ask that question. What else you guys got going? Is there anything else that we can put out so that people can find you guys and know how to get in contact with you guys? And
so yeah, we are giving you guys a coupon code for your audience, so they can get 10% off of it at our store. I know you guys put that on the screen for everybody. And and now we're in the process of doing that and we're creating courses right now that we'll be rolling out to for people to be able to really
is this somebody's Desmond. I was like, I'm so
if for those watching, we're able to put the you guys are seeing the comments that are coming on live. And after this, we're gonna go ahead and put your guys' the code that you guys gave us. What was it again? The
Just Like Us, all one
Just
word.
Like Us, all one word, all caps.
For the discount, right? But basically, just explain to them what it is. That down below, you guys are going to be able to see a discount that you can go click and go and see Deandra's, or go see Deandra and Jordin's their line of what they have going on. So make sure you guys check that out. And we want to make sure that if there's anything else that you guys have to promote, now's the time. What else do you guys got going on?
Well, as far as the products, like I said, this particular collection that we put together, it's for those that, like she said, everybody has issues or stuff that happen in their life, and you grow through your experiences. So that's the part of this particular line that we brought together, because there's a lot of dark stuff that happened to people in their lives, and it happens to everybody. It even happened to us. So this line was actually something that was a little bit more, it had a personal touch into it that we wanted to share with everybody, that no matter what happens in your life, whatever in your past, that past defines you now and will continue to keep going as life goes on.
All the things that you've been through, that just helped make you stronger. That just helped make you and bring you, you're the hero of your story. And that's the message we want to spread. So we just want to create a movement. We just want to create a movement where people know and they understand that your strength comes from within. You already have every single thing that you need. You came here with every single thing you need. You came naked. So you obviously were equipped already with everything you needed already inside of you. And so the journey is just to find yourself again. It's just to find yourself, to remember who you really truly are. And that's a divine being. We are divine beings, every single one of us. We just need to wake up. We just need to wake up.
Cool. And again, having you guys as the very first couple, this is it feels great. It feels fantastic having you guys on here. And again, it's we have very like energies. You know, we laugh a lot. We have a good time. We seem to, we
resonate.
The room. Yes. So we're gonna have to have you guys on again at some point here. And let's make sure, again, this is the first time we've really seen each other in quite some time, 8 to 9 months.
It's been a long time.
And so let's make this a reason for us to continue to be in each other's lives from here on out. Let's stick around each other, because again, like-minded people, we tend to grow together. Let's stay with and around each other, because great minds think alike. And so it's good having you guys around.
I wanted to share a story. Deandra, when we were like conversing on, messaging each other on Instagram, at first I was like, man, I don't know who this is, but I know it's someone from Spectacular School of Business. I know that logo, and I could not think of who it was, right? And in my head, I'm asking, like, Lord, please tell me who this is, because I didn't want to feel dumb to be like, hey, But once you mentioned, like, Justin, I was like, okay, so they know us. We're getting closer, Lord, a little bit more. I need a little bit more. And then
a little more information.
And then when you talked about, what was it, your sauce, because you're vegan, so you also do recipes too.
Oh,
right?
that's right. Yeah.
That pizza sauce look hella good. Yes, I said it, hella good. And I think I want to try it. But anyway, sidetracked. So once you said that and I went and looked, I'm like, oh my God, it's Dee.
My picture was on there.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I knew, right, that it was somebody that I knew. So for me, this was like divine orchestration.
It was. It was
to come back together today. And the other thing was, Justin wasn't even supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And you know, and so I got everything ready just like I normally do, and I'm, you know, getting the lighting ready, and you know, I'm texting Dee, and then Justin calls and says, hey man, they delayed our flight, you know, due to weather, right? And so I not rushed. I went and got him and came back, and we got to do this together because it was power couple to power couple.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's just because we love you guys.
Yeah,
Like,
we do. You guys are amazing.
your guys' spirit,
energy, always laughing, always smiling, always lighting the room up. So again, it's always a pleasure to have you guys around.
Oh,
So.
we're just grateful to be here. Yeah, thank you so much for inviting.
So I got one more question. So,
Susie, yes,
you know, for couples that want to work together, what to do and what not to do. Something from us would be for what to do is communicate. Definitely want to communicate as a couple. If you're gonna work together, thrive together, live together, be together, stay together, communication, in my opinion, is probably the most biggest key factor in a relationship, is to communicate. You got something on your mind, let me know, because I mean I may be good at a lot of things, but mind reading I'm not that great at yet. I haven't figured that one out all that much. So if you got something on your mind, let me know. If something hurts you, please let me know, because if you know me good, you're gonna know that I'm gonna take the time and say, okay, all right, let's talk about it. You know what I mean?
Gotta communicate.
What we did in our house was we set up a few rules. Everyone is allowed to express themselves, but you cannot attack anyone's character. And you can't play that blame game.
Okay.
You cannot play that blame game. You can say, you make me feel like this when you do this, but you cannot play the blame game, because you played a part in it too.
Right.
We all played a part in it. Whether we like it or not, we've played a part. And so we cannot exclude our part whenever we feel like, you know, you might feel like, oh, I didn't really play that part, but you did. There's two of you, or three of you, or in this case 6 of us. And so and so you have to evaluate yourself first. So we try to do that in front of them. So our arguments are pretty weird.
Ours is backwards.
It's like, if I didn't do that, then you probably wouldn't have done this. Why did I do that?
It's kind of self what's the damn word?
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Self-reflecting.
Self-reflecting.
Yeah.
So our argument is actually self-reflecting.
Yeah.
Like, this I did this. That's why this happened. So
yes.
And then she says, no, it was my fault because I did this. No, if I didn't do this, you know, because
you wouldn't have felt that way.
It's not. We're not turning away from each other to fight.
Yeah.
Like when most people fight, they turn away and then they just kind of bash at each other.
Yeah.
They turn towards each other. And then we say this. This happened because I might have done this, whatever. Talk about it, communicate, and then.
But we've had 25 years to practice this, so it does take a lot of practice, guys. Yeah, it's not something that we were born with, or we came into. We didn't come with this. We had to learn it. Yeah, and so we learn a lot, and we focus on what the other person is bringing versus what they're taking.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, if you come in with gratitude, really and you decide and you have the intention that, you know what I mean, we're gonna be aware. And so what we're trying to do is model for them self-awareness and self-reflection and taking responsibility for your actions, because that's what a lot of people do.
Right?
You take responsibility.
I have relationships like that where I'm like, where you're arguing over who didn't do it. No, I did it. No, I did it. You know what I mean? You know you're doing something good when you're like, you know what I mean? You're both trying to take the blame, right?
I did it. Weird.
That's good though. That's good. He's like, I didn't. No, that was my fault. No, it was my fault. That's always a good thing, right? When you see that.
If you start trying to pick at the other person, their guard goes way up, and they're just like trying to hammer you back. So right then, it's just a
different goal. It's a different goal at that point. It's
23 years together.
Yeah, you're just trying to prove that you're right. and in the end, when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to give a crap about whether you're right or not. Who cares about that? What you care about is that you love that person unconditionally, and you were able to work things out. And so I think that's one of the main things that we're trying to teach our kids by letting them watch. You do not argue behind closed doors ever.
Wow.
When we are going to talk about finances, we're going to all talk about finances.
Yeah.
Lay that on the table, and it's uncomfortable, and it's going to make me feel vulnerable, and I might cry.
Everybody's going to hear what we're saying.
Yeah, and we want them to see us cry. We want them to see us broken, and we want them to see us fall on our face and get back up. Because if they never see you fall, they're not going to know how to get back up.
Because I think if we don't see each other fall, right, we just think you're perfect, and we get afraid. I'm just speaking from experience, right? Then we tend to become afraid, like, well, I ain't seen anybody fall. Like, so is it okay for me to fall? What happens if I fall? I haven't seen anybody do that. They've just been walking around doing all this stuff.
Yes,
and
we want them to work out.
Yeah.
You don't want them to see it work out all the time. You want them to see you when you're broken. Because how are they supposed to know how to deal with it when you're broken? They're gonna think nobody's ever broken. But it's a roller coaster ride. That's what life is.
Well, I feel like I had to break down to break through.
It's necessary.
I did the same, but mine is different because the way that I always thought, because I was in construction, everybody's always like, we got to be tough, because if you're not as tough as the next person, they're just gonna kind of go over you and just kind of take over you. So for me, my guard was like always up. But in this whole journey that we've been through, like for me, one of my big things is that I had to drop my guard. You know what I mean? I had to let my wife in. I had to be emotional. I'm not talking, I'm crying like everybody, It's not,
leave that to us, Jordin.
I'll be the first man to cry. I'll tell you what. Right. Don't cry in the car. But again, I love the perspective, guys. Your idea. Listen, I just learned something huge from you guys, and that's one thing that I'm teaching my son, or I'm like wanting to implement, is not arguing in front of him, but like having resolutions together, like having a family towards, like, your finances are not a secret. You don't want them to be, you want them to know what it is about this that makes this what it is. Like, the finances are important. And so Desmond could probably definitely agree to this, that we should be teaching our kids finances at a young age so that they have a good idea of how it works, how things are structured, and so that they can have a good idea how to do things ahead of time. You know what I mean? Yes, they're going to have plenty of time to be kids or adults when they're an adult, but why not teach them now about the things that really matter? You know what I mean? Like,
you want to make it natural. You want to make it natural so that when they get older, it's not something that's taboo or that we don't talk about. It's natural to talk about money. It's not. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's free.
And the other thing too is, like, she brought this up before, is that when the kids, they don't know what's going on with the family, like, especially if you're fighting about money, and they don't know, they're on, like, oh my God, what's going on type of feeling. You know what I mean? They're in fight or flight mode.
Yeah, they have anxiety too.
And it ruins the family dynamic, because now they're going to be super fearful that, they're going to talk about whatever, and they're going to start fighting, and then I don't know what's going on. But if you talk it over with your spouse and with your kids, that they'll know what's going on. And if there's struggles, we're doing this, we're doing that. We can't get this right now because we're doing this. We're going to put it towards this. We're going to invest.
We're going to invest. Everything that you buy should be an investment.
Yeah,
right. Oh, Desmond can attest to that. You got to speak in his language.
It's got to be an investment. Something. It has to be an investment. Every single thing, every time you spend $1, that $1 better be an investment. You better be doing something to make it grow.
Here, her favorite 3-letter word, ROI.
Turn on. You're definitely on. Desmond's over here like,
Desmond's like,
everything has an ROI. And if it doesn't, then you are going to have to let that go. You're going to have to let that go. You don't need it. You don't need it. So like you were talking about earlier, about how our kids they always have what they need. We do the same thing. We only provide just what they need, and everything else they need to go and earn that on their own. So that's the way that we've always done it, where you do not, we don't let them do that, because we want to make sure that they understand the value of a dollar at a very young age, and they understand that you need to make that grow. That's your responsibility. You got to make that grow. And if you can't make that grow, then you better sit down and figure it out. Yeah. And so we like to include them so that they can come up with solutions too. It's not just us. Yeah. So yeah, include them. They're brilliant. Yes. They're brilliant. They can
sometimes they have better ideas than we do.
Yes.
They'll ask you questions.
I'm like, right?
About.
They do.
Yeah. Right. Okay. But I think too,
the answer is in the question.
Yeah, we're talking about like investing, money and our time, and we have to invest in our relationships and the relationship with ourselves too.
Yeah.
Right? And the relationship as a couple, those are just as important and can have huge ROIs as well, right? Not just financially. Wealth to me isn't just money, right? It's time, it's love, it's kindness, it's all of that, right?
Time and love.
Spiritual part of it,
Yeah.
I mean, they had it right? All we need is love. Who said that? John Lennon. And it's true. Like we only operate out of fear or love, right? That's right. Yeah. And it's like those, those emotional wheelhouses, right? Like that tell you what the emotions are, what they stem from, and I just looking at my patterns from the past, right? That's why I wrote, because I wanted to start seeing patterns in money, patterns in love, patterns in parenting, patterns in my own behavior.
The only way you're gonna break it,
right? And disrupt those patterns. What can I do? And my faith has played a huge role in that for me. I've always had a belief in God. I've always believed that there was something bigger than me. We didn't go to church a lot. I think I was actually the only one in the family who went to church as a little girl, like of my own. And I can remember being in there and saying, like, God, or whatever you are, like, are you in here? Is this like where we gather all together? But really for me, it was as a little girl getting on the rooftop and just laying there underneath the stars and knowing that this something, this energy was, there was a protection around
and you're not alone.
Because we like to blame God for the things that have gone wrong, and actually I caused those things. Like when I realized that I was the problem, and I'm also the solution. Game changer.
Right? Yes.
Like,
we got to get Justin.
Go ahead, Jordin.
Oh no, just one is that one of the things that we've been pushing towards is one of our main things was to break generational curses, right? Because for us, that we don't want all the things from our past, like working, like everything that was passed on from our parents, which was like work hard, go to college, get a degree, and then do whatever. Right. It's not the same anymore. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, it's you don't need a college degree. You don't need I don't say you don't need school, but then
you do for something.
Yeah,
for skills.
Some things you do. Okay, but then we don't want that. We want our kids to have a grasp of their own future, and to be able to follow their future, follow their intuitions and what they want to do.
Yeah, we
want
them to live intuitively.
We're already in school. Life is where you're in school right now. Depending on where you grew up and what especially if you're setting good parameters and setting these the right tone for your kids to step into that light. Like we're already full of energy, full of light. You know what I mean? Like I think the schools and things are meant to like dumb us down in a sense, like we talked about earlier. But I don't want to get down that rabbit hole. I just think that us as a family, and especially if we have good values and morals as people, our kids are going to see this and they're going to take that beacon, that light, and they're going to run with it too. And that's what we want to see. One of the best things you could see is when you teach your kids something, or when you teach a mentee, then you see them go implement that. Then you're like, okay, so they did it. And that's like the proud dad moment.
Reward.
that's when you're on fire about, man, I'm doing something right when these kids are learning what I'm teaching them and they're going to implement it. I get emotional because I'm thinking about how much I see my son grow. I got my daughter in the living room. We're about to go, and I've seen the growth. When you see your kids' eyes and they light up in the thing that you're doing, and you showing them, and like that's when life is full of love. You know what I mean? And there's so many beautiful things to say about being here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even when your kids see your eyes light up because of something that they taught you.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I know. It's so much better to make them the teachers.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that you got to remember is that if you're focused on work, if you're focused on business, and you just keep focusing, just straight line focus, where's your kids?
Right.
Growing up.
Right.
They're older already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I was working, I was focused on, I was just working, just trying to pay bills, get everything, supply.
Just to survive.
Yeah. But then my kids grew up. I missed the whole train.
Right.
So now my whole thought is I'm creating time now. I'm gonna cut time out to spend with my kids, to spend with my wife. You know what I mean? But
I lied. You might have to rein him in.
Right.
Hey, well, I'll tell you guys what, it has been nothing short of a pleasure and a beautiful time with you guys here, because you guys have the spark and that energy, and it's almost like looking in a mirror with you guys, because we see a lot in you that we see in us, and again, iron sharpens iron. To have you guys around us, it's been a pleasure. So let's make sure that we stay in touch, like in close proximity, close to the fire, because we're in the same boat, you guys. We're living life to the fullest. We have a lot of the same morals, same ethics, and in the familiarity of you guys. It feels covered. Yeah, it was a hard word. To have you guys around is a blessing. And so for whatever it's worth, we want to have you guys on again and make sure that you guys are around us, because we love your energy. We just enjoyed having you guys here. It's been great. Desmond Soon, we love you as always being here as well. Desmond Soon, you guys stay tuned as well. Desmond Soon will be coming up very soon, and we want to make you guys got to be prepared. For Desmond Soon is something else. So again, thank you both for being here. We love you guys so much. We will definitely have you guys on at another time. Let's link up here soon. Stay in touch, you guys. And for everybody out there watching the after show, thank you. And if you guys want to leave the folks with a leaving message, you guys want to say anything to the folks before we go? If not, we're fine.
I think the biggest message is just to have gratitude in every single thing that you do, and lead with love. Everything that you do, if you lead with love, you cannot go wrong. You can't do anything wrong if you lead with love.
Your partner is not psychic. Communicate.
Yes, amen to that. Yes, and again, thank you guys for being here. Yes, again, thank you all for being here, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Just Like Us. Have a good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. And we'll see you guys. Thanks, guys. Love you, Dad.